All right, let's just pop into it, huh? Grixis Sadness. I mean, Grixis Control. Fan slash casual favorite here. One of this deck at the core is a red-black control deck with a little bit of a blue splash here at the top end. So we've got kind of that Kroxa, little bit of self-mill package here at the bottom in order to be able to close games out. We've got some Agonizing Remorse, Heartless Act, things like Murderous Rider and Bedevil for cheap interaction. We've got both Languish and Flame Sweep for sweepers. Atris and Nicol Bolas provide us with card advantage. There's also threats. And then we've got some Nikki B up here at the very top end of the curve. Now, looking at this, I wonder if I'm supposed to have at least one more copy of Bedevil in my 75. I only have, looking at this before we get started, I've only got one way to destroy artifacts. So maybe before we jump in, I want at least one more Bedevil in here. Do I need these Pharika libations? What, are there enchantments in this format still? We banned Reclamation. Are there any other enchantments I care about? I feel like the answer to that question is probably no. Conqueror's Death. You don't really destroy Conqueror's Death. I'd rather have like a way to target their graveyard. Is Aether Gust still good with the bans? Yeah, I think this card's fine. The Aura's deck, also, you'd rather just be killing their creatures rather than their enchantments, so. Excellent Binding. No, it's not really real. Close. I'm gonna leave one. I'm gonna trim one of these, and I'm gonna get 2 Bedevils on the board. Listen, when you're playing a deck like Grixis Control, chat, you need to understand you are rolling the dice every match and hoping that whatever answers you elected to play are going to line up into whatever threats they elected to play. And there are going to be a variety of games where that does not happen and you have the wrong answer and you just died at their threat. And you have to accept that if you're going to play an archetype like this. You can hedge your bets, but you're often going to get got. Managing expectations. That's a good way to put it, Wolfie. Yeah, I mean, well, I think creature decks are popular. I agree with that assessment. If you look, I've got a lot of sweepers in my 75, right? So I'm playing both Languish and Flame Sweep in addition to the spot removal that we've got. I don't know that clunky counterspells like Absorb are necessarily good. There's a copy of Jeskai Control in the queue, which is a request for me to build an updated version of that archetype. So whenever that gets to the top, I'll put some brain power into it. Which should be soonish. Really glad we put a bunch of Bedevils in our 75 here. I'm going to go ahead and take the Witches Oven here. One Flame Sweep, please. Well, things like Grixis Aggro. The Grixis Aggro deck on my website isn't really a deck that's playing a lot of removal, generally speaking. Nailed it. It's an archetype that is interested in... It's an archetype that it's interested in having a little bit of spot removal, but largely in just applying pressure. So I'd love to draw another piece of interaction for next turn, and then we can curve right into Nicol Bolas. So ideally, we're gonna draw a piece of spot removal here. Swing and a miss. Can't win them all. We got the Flame Sweep at least. Just poking around on the historic decks. The website didn't see any control decks listed. Are there any worthwhile ones or things to influx with the Teferi things? Yeah, we don't know. You can't play control decks into a new format. So the only control deck that was up there was Jeskai Control, and I just hid that for the time being since Teferi was banned. I think you're right, actually, that there are factual 0 control decks up there. Plus this. think I need to just hope to high roll and hit a Languish here. I'm gonna go double check. I think you're right though, that there's actual zero control. Control, find decks. Yarok Field's a control deck. You made me forget about Yarok Field. Shame on you. Shame on you. Making me forget about Yarok Field.
In exchange for eternal servitude. Of the time, Planeswalker.
I think the mono blue control deck, mono black control deck that we played that made the finals of the last Hoglandi Open where Jeffrey Reclamation banned is likely reasonable. That deck got added back to the queue, so if that deck feels good again the next time we play it, I intend to play it again. Or I intend to not play it again, put it up on the website, I guess I should say. So I think I do... Oh, I could have played a tap land. I think I do this, and then Kroxa. Nope. I think I'd rather exile... They're gonna have... I think I'd rather exile this Woe Strider here, because I'm gonna escape this Kroxa to take the Mayhem Devil out of their hand. Yeah, big... mistake that could come back to bite us if I need an extra mana next turn. Should have played this tap Steam Vents instead of the Swamp. Field of the Dead just isn't particularly powerful in this format, Whiskey Dingo. There's a lot of powerful busted things you can be doing. Alright, no claim to Firstborn, please. Yeah, like if I draw a 3-mana spell here, my land play last turn is a huge mistake. What are spells? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hey, hey, hey. That lethal? That's lethal, right? They sack this. Good runner. Good runner. Yeah, they just like sack things and kill their Mayhem Devils, right? The Magic the Gathering story. Start to stabilize, draw 3 lands in a row, opponent draws runner spell. Because remember, they drew a third Mayhem Devil in the middle there that we discarded out of their hand as well. It wasn't even just those last two for us. They also had runners in the middle. Redcap and Disfigure seem good here. Ashiok seems fantastic for exiling their graveyard. Maybe Oracle of Half-Truth's a little bit slow. I need to keep some amount of card advantage, though. I guess my sweepers are technically card advantage. Need one more trim here. Easy mulligan. Good day, mono. Yeah, this is fine. Probably bottom the Heartless Act here. Got all of our colors. Got a piece removal spell, some card advantage. Cream of Extreme. Thank you for the 21 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I think we play the untapped land here, so this way if they priest, I get to play Heartless Act. Hey, no worry, Murky. Murderous Rider, super awkward in the face of Oven. I think I'm just playing a tapped land here. Yeah, this card's sweet too, because the cards you don't take with Atris, go to your graveyard, so they help fuel your Kroxa as well, which is fantastic. What happens if you're Shillionaire? I think we have a command. Always take 2. Always take 2, chat. Always take 2. Unless the one card face up is exactly what you need, you should probably always take the 2. I ain't a fish. Alright, so that's gotta die. Oh, you know, I probably should have shocked this in, huh? Although I guess I'm waiting till they... I assume this is Menace, so they can't just jump with the cat. I assume they're gonna use this at the end of my turn, and then when they use it, we'll Murderous Rider the Mayhem Devil. And if they don't use it, that's a win for me. Magoom! Thank you for the half a year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. How the sub-survey end up going, or is it too early to tell? We will be returning to Standard after the next Open as a result of the sub-survey. Is the big takeaway. Aquil, thanks for the half a year. Welcome back. The sub-survey is still open. If you're in the subs Discord, you can pop in there and hit the link and fill that out. It's also emailed out to folks 2 nights ago, but if you didn't get the email, not everybody has Switch emails enabled for various reasons. You can find that up there. I don't know, Standard could be fine, and we'll see, right? Like, there'll be, like, a couple of SCG tournaments, and I could, like, look at other stuff between now and when we plan to revisit it. If it looks like a dumpster fire, we can skip it, but it might be fine. Who knows? 500 points further from Shillionaire. I mean, Historic seems good. Historic's, like, always felt like it's had a good range of things that have been strangled around the edges by bad decisions like Teferi, so... Wow, they exiled Village, right? What is their last card? Really surprised to see them exile this as opposed to, like, a mountain here. Not yet. Beansy has the most channel points of anybody that's been publicly talking about it, and they're on track to hit Shillionaire later this month if they continue watching every day. This is an easy block here if they want to trade Firebrand plus Cat for my Atris. I'm good with that. How long does it generally take from I submit a deck till we hear if it's play? Usually within 24 hours. Not always, but usually.
My intellect is without limit.
Alright, what's your last card that you don't want to get rid of? Call a Dark Dweller, yep. With seeing that that's a card in their deck, I'm going to go ahead and Ashiok here. So remember, Ashiok, regardless of who Ashiok mills, the opponent exiles their yard. So we'll mill 4 here, they'll lose their bin. They'll get to loop this here, but like I get to gain 2 off of this next turn and then escape Kroxa. So we're going to have a pretty quick clock and we'll get to buffer our life total a small bit. Hey, Santos Vela, Tuck, Pfeffery. Honestly, the sub is almost as long overdue as the recent bans, but better late than never. I appreciate it, Bella. Could not agree with you more. Will we still play Historic, assuming that Teferi stays illegal after set rotation? Yeah, definitely like it is. So, my plans for when rotation happens is we'll probably do... after rotation happens, we'll probably do 3 to 4 only standard days, or like a week of only standard, and then depending on what the popularity of standard is after rotation, we'll go back to a mix of standard and historic for the arena segments. As I've often said, variety is the spice of life. I think I'm happy with how we boarded. Maybe on the draw, I want like an extra flame sweep. I don't know. It misses Mayhem Devil, which is a pretty big deal. Yeah, I'm gonna leave these just 2-2. Lean on spot removal. Yeah, no plays till turn 3, but has Flame Sweep, so if they have like a Priest draw, this tape card's really good. No Dreadhorde Butcher on 2 is great for us. As always, I like to keep my schedule, like, as this week has shown, I like to keep my schedule as flexible as possible and adjust as things, you know, encourage us to adjust a little bit. I'm just gonna pass for now. I don't think there's a reason to bedevil this super proactively. Been here long enough to remember Knife Cat. Thank you for the 51 months, Philly. I think we're killing Oven. Unless they play something else out that gives us a juicy flame sweep. That is a chunky monkey. By the way, I retweeted something from Nox this morning, and I feel like we need to talk about it on stream just to highlight how absurd opinions people have in the Magic community quite frequently. Anybody that was on Magic Twitter, do you remember people saying that they would play a 7-mana companion that cost 1 mana? or a 7-mana companion that was a 1/1. Like there were genuinely real live, living, breathing, professional Magic the Gathering players that were adamant that the companion mechanic was so fundamentally flawed that the companion mechanic was so fundamental. I shouldn't have let them attack. I'm gonna get, if I get Ember Cleaved here, I'm gonna curl up in a little ball and cry. Yeah, just like just talking about balance around the companion mechanic in general. They were like, the companion mechanic is fundamentally broken. The card advantage that you get is unfair, regardless of what the creature looks like. Yeah, I'm like, where are all these people now? Like, why aren't they playing companions? I feel like it's good to remind people on occasion that I am consistently on the correct side of Magic history, and that my evaluations of Magic the Gathering cards and things, my opinions on things, are frequently correct.
The immortal Nicol Bolas will be your end.
7-mana 1/1 companion is playable. Brought to you by the same folks that told you Stoneforge Mystic and Jace the Mind Sculptor would be too good for Modern. Enjoy. This is a really good draw because it lets them kill Nicol Bolas while still pressuring my health total a good deal. I also get to scry 2 here. No, they didn't. We were discussing people saying that that would be too good and would be playable. This actually isn't a terrible draw. The question is, am I killing Chandra or am I killing Woe Strider? I think the answer is Woe Strider, and then I think I'm actually gonna mill them because they scryed a card at the top. Let's see if that changes here. They left it on top. Yeah, I think I mill them. Ashiok's still gonna be at 2 loyalty next turn. So, like, they attack Ashiok, I get to mill myself next turn and then escape Kroxa. Ain't no rest for the wicked. Money don't grow on trees. I got bills to pay, I got mouths to feed. Ain't nothing in this world for free. Does it count as singing the song if I just say the lyrics? I don't know if that counts. I feel like I need a judge on that one. It did for William Shatner. I was already Googling the song because I'm an idiot who don't listen to no music. Alright, so if I Kroxa them, I take 1. But I think I'm supposed to Kroxa them because this way, if I draw an untapped land next turn, I can Ashiok down tick escape Kroxa. Yeah, the podcast will be a normal podcast, so you'll be able to listen to it after the fact. It'll go up on podcasty sites and I'll tweet it out and stuff. So I'm going to 5 here. But I get to kill their Chandra, which is like nothing. What's our best draw? Mire Triton's our best draw, probably. I guess a 2-mana removal spell. Heartless Act's good. How about a land, chat? Is a land a good draw? Tapped land. I wonder if they're supposed to plus their Chandra there, so they can survive and activate Priest with it next turn. Alright, just like, draw 2 lands in a row. This castle could drag them kicking and screaming out of the game. Alright. That's lethal, right? Never not. No, I guess I get to sack Nick, right? And I keep Kroxa. So I'm taking 2, 4, going to 1. And I'm not just dead here. No, I die when I sack. Got it. Good beats. Yeah, I don't know how we ever beat third draws in the first couple of games. The 2 games we lost, the first and third game, just like endless hot fire off the top. I couldn't transform Nicol Bolas. My 7th land was tapped. Feels Grixis, man. Yep. I think I keep this. It's got all my colors of mana. It's got a sweeper and a piece of spot removal. You thought we were gonna have a next turn? The optimism. The optimism. I think with 5 lands, we hold on to the Triome here to cycle. Greeny T, thanks for the 29 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Yeah, it should, Greb. Well, their hand's not particularly great, so that's nice. I have Bedevil to deal with this oven in play. They will still have a Phyrexian Tower to sack whatever they claim, but I guess Kroxa should be able to chew this out of their hand when it comes down. Darth Clyde Frog, thank you for the tier 3 resub. I appreciate your generosity. Welcome back. Yeah, I agree. I really, the more I see how the companion change has played out, I'm really pretty disappointed that was the change that they went with. I really dislike that the companion change made companions unplayable in aggressive decks. Here's an interesting question. I guess they could, I don't know that they will because they're afraid of change, but like, what is an amount of life that you could pay instead of mana to put a companion in your hand? What's the number? Is it like 2 points of life per mana? You think it's 5 points per mana? Wait, are you saying, I'm saying per mana. Like, what if you could split it? Like, what if I could pay 1 mana and 4 life? Or 2 mana and 2 life? Or like 6 mana, or 6 life and no mana? Feels Magic the Gathering, man. Yeah, I feel like two per could have been good. It could have left companions playable in aggressive decks while not making them better in control decks. Yeah, but like, so Phyrexian mana was really good because Phyrexian mana made things completely free. Companions wouldn't be completely free, right? Like, you'd still have to pay a mana cost for them. You'd still have to pay their casting cost. I'm just saying they could have made them so you pay life instead of the 3 mana. I'm gonna submit a deck through your website for the tier 3. It does, yep. Yep, tier 3s are good for any arena or Runeterra format. which are actually the only things I'm taking right now. I'm not taking any Moto submissions in the short term. Yeah, am I just supposed to, like, flame sweep this idiot? Probably. We have three sweepers now. Yeah, maybe point. I don't know. I think, like, mimicking Phyrexian mana is probably better. Actually, retake. I dislike your idea because that makes companions as good as they were before in Control decks. So I don't want to escape Kroxa until after they claim the Firstborn. Or until after we can Agonizing Remorse this out of their hand. So in response to this trigger, I'm going to Flame Sweep so they can't activate Priest. At what point did I decide to make Twitch my full-time job? When it started paying me close to full-time money. I'd have to go back and, like, look at my metrics. Do metrics go back that far? That's a good question. How far back can I go? December... How many subs did I have in December of 2018? It was about when we decided to try and make this a job. Was it December 2018 or was it 17? I actually don't remember the timeline now. No, it was the start of 2018 where I went full-time. So that would be December 2017, right? Twitch has got a lot of analytics back in here. That's a good question. It was definitely before Arena, yeah. Alright, January 2018 was about when Christy and I started looking for a babysitter to try and make this my job, and I had 602 concurrent subscribers for the month of January, it looks like. Hello, youngest son. The early 18 makes sense. I've been doing this for about 2 years now. He's gonna sack these right away. They discarded the claim. Is this bait? Is discarding the claim bait, chat? Am I gonna play this and get claimed the Firstborn? Yes, but you should do it anyways. If that ain't the most Twitch chatty Twitch answer I've ever been given, I don't know what is, Bob. I mean, I just, like, don't have any plays, right? Like, I just have nothing going on. I'm, like, gonna die to this Woe Strider. Subscriptions and deck submissions are the bulk of my income speed. Stuff like the ad money and sponsor money and, like, the small amount I get from F2K is pretty trivial in the grand scheme of things. You don't, unless you're, like, you have to be averaging, like, assuming ad revenue scales with viewership, probably if you start averaging somewhere in, like, the 2,500 to 3,000 concurrent viewers per stream, you probably start getting to a point where, like, okay, ad money is livable money. Like. Nice, Danon. Confirmed bait. When you, and that's honestly, like, one of the tough parts about Magic, and, like, you know, the games are often kind of low player agency. Like, we could read what our opponent was doing. Like, we looked at them, we looked at what their play was, we're like, okay, this means they likely have this, but we also, like, look at our options, and we're just so flooded because of the resource system that, like, it's just, like, making your opponent have it is frequently the right decision in spots like that. I feel like I have to cut Remorse here. It's nice to be able to exile things like Woe Strider, but cards that don't impact the board, more importantly, things that cost me life, are a real liability here. Declan, can you close my door, please? Morning, Rhinos. We bottom the threat here and just keep our cards to keep us alive. Hope to draw threat eventually, once we've stabilized the board. So if I don't Languish this till 4, this thing's gonna hit me twice plus deal 2 more, so it's gonna be a total of 4 to me. Yeah, we're about at my average, or getting close to it. Like, outside of, like, Kroxa and Caleb Durward, like, most Magic streamers are fortunate to hit, you know, 1,000 concurrents in a day. We peaked up to 1,600 on Monday, but historically speaking, Monday's my highest viewer count day of the week on average, and there was the big announcement driving extra hype for Monday. And, like, even then, like, you know, it's not even just, this is why, you know, there's as a numbers person, I love looking at the different metrics surrounding my job. So, like, Monday's stream, for example, even though we peaked up, I guess we had a pretty good average. It was a 1,500 average for Monday. I'd say we peaked at, that peak is wrong. Yeah. Twitch metrics. Why is your number wrong? Looks like we peaked about 1,600 on Monday. K is watching Kroki's cat crap on Twitch channels. Hey, don't kink shame. Some people like watching Kroki's crap on his Twitch chat. A lot of people, in fact. That's what people are into. When they say nice guys finish last, they mean on Twitch too. I mean, if you really think about it, like, outside of Newmont, like, myself, Caleb Durward, Kroki's, like, all three of us have, like, very low tolerance for people saying stupid things in our chat. We're not shy about telling people, hey, that's dumb or that's a bad idea. Like, and we're three of the, you know, 3 of the top 5 or 6 or whatever people that stream Magic on the platform. So that's definitely a shtick that the Magic community seems to enjoy. Which, I wonder what that says about the Magic community overall. I feel like there's some kind of social commentary on the Magic community as a whole that the 3 of us are towards the top. So, sequencing here on the opponent, a little bit sloppy. If they lead on the Witch's Oven, they get to use the Mayhem Devil before I kill it there. That's true. Day 9 is super wholesome, but Day 9's audience also comes largely from outside of Magic too. Like, it's probably fair to say Day 9's like a Magic streamer at this point, but he didn't start there, right? It's actually funny. One of my most eye-opening moments as a content creator, and this'll say a lot about the types of things you experience as a content creator, is that I was reading a thread about something Day 9, the Day 9 clip or something that was great, because most of his clips are great. And there were people in the thread that had negative things to say about Day 9. And I was just like, good lord, if you can find mean things to say about Sean, these people will literally crap on anyone. And it's just like, there's just like, all bets are off. If people want to hate you, they're going to hate you. He is, yeah, just like super, Day 9 is just like constantly upbeat and positive. Am I just languishing here? This is gonna die anyways, right? I think I'm just languishing, because I can't Heartless Act. I can't Heartless Act this, it technically has counters on it. So DTC, I definitely think we live in two responses to your thing. One, I think you are correct that, especially before I put my Magic chat in sub-only, I was regularly too frustrated with the types of things people would say and having to repeat myself and constantly shoot down the same low-effort crap. And you know what they say, right? When you roll in the mud with the pigs, the people outside looking in just see poop on everyone. The other thing is that even with sub-only mode, I'm often short and blunt and to the point, and the world in which we live interprets being short with being rude. And I'm not saying I never cross that line anymore, because I'm human and I fail sometimes. But I also think there's plenty of people that come in and they hear me simply be short, and they take me being short to mean I'm being mean. I also think the way in which I project my voice and have a strong voice while I speak, that in combination with how I'm often blunt and short, rubs some people the wrong way. But honestly, no matter what you do, you're gonna rub some people the wrong way, so it's like, eh. Yeah, there's also a lot of people who think that the reason why we have the timeout meme, right? There's a lot of people that think being timed out in a Twitch chat is like alienating their unalienable rights, right? Like they think I'm violating something that they're owed. And there are a lot of people, regardless of how nice I am, if I time them out when they waste my time, they're gonna be upset. Someone hit me with the blunt end of a timeout. Alienate me. God bless. That's great, Pez. So, really need to hit a Kroxa here? Hey, Just Lucky, thank you for the 2 years of support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Welcome. Am I just playing a 2-3 for 3? I think I'm playing a 2-3 for 3. Slightly higher expectations just help, like, the signal to noise ratio. Like, I think one of the things I'm better at while streaming than a lot of other people is my ability to catch messages in chat. And if there's too many people spamming, you know, Keck W's and why not card X constantly, it becomes harder for me to do what I'm good at. Or what I attempt to be good at. Wonder if I'm supposed to kill this oven first. I feel like I want to prioritize doing this so that way I can get a clock going. Yeah, I don't either, Warsmith. I just assume I'm too much of a boomer to understand. Thanks, DTC. It's good to have you here. Thanks, JPads. Keck W. Keck W is an insider LOL. That's all it is. It's an LOL for people in the know, basically. Other people stream Magic and read chat. I think of myself, is this what Jeff's nightmares consist of? Essentially, yeah. Hey, thanks for the 17 months dumping truck. I think we're just gonna die to this stupid cat, right? Hey, the Witch Doc, thanks for the quarter of a year. This at least takes the card out of their hand, but they get to block and cycle the cat here. Attacking with Murderous Rider makes sense for lifelink. They block with cat and sack it, and I don't get to get any life whipping rhinos. I need to draw another Bedevil for this Witch's Oven.
Mostly. Study? Focus? I just want to burn stuff already.
Hey, Tefree in training. Thanks for 19 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Guess I'm just attacking with this. Dealing 3 seems relevant. I guess I can do this and they have to choose between denying me life and losing their Chandra. Yeah, that's the play. So we split these so they pick I either gain 2 or they lose their Chandra.
I'm late to meditation anyway.
Okay, not dead to that one yet. First hit on their untap, right? They're gonna loop this in a turn and then do it again next turn. Feels Grixis control, man. We'll lose one more with this, and then we'll roll on along to the next one. I should probably stop accepting Grixis control decks. They're consistently awful. So good. Just like a fantastic lesson of what we talked about when we started of, you know, just like crossing your fingers and hoping your answers lined up and just like watching your opponent like have threats that are like just uniquely good against what your answers are in that draw. Is that third Cat Oven deck in a row? Alright, so we gotta build for the rest of the day with this in mind, I suppose. You think Mana Leak is still too strong for Standard, given we have counterspells like Mystic Dispute? I think you're asking the wrong question. I think asking questions like what you just asked are the reason why Magic ended up in the spot that it did. I think I think the designers especially need to stop asking themselves the question, is this too good? And ask themselves the question more consistently, is this going to generate games of Magic that are interesting and people want to play? And I think from that perspective, the answer to Mana Leak being standard legal is almost assuredly no. To get more to your core point, I don't think it's probably too powerful based on everything else that's going on. But from the perspective of, is this enjoyable and something that we should want? I think the answer is no. No. Please no, definitely no. Elvish Reclaimer. Thank you for the interior year of support. I appreciate it.
Once again. My schemes are never ending.
It's gonna be... I'm interested to see what the popularity of Historic ends up looking like a year or 2 years from now. Because the saving grace of Arena's economic model is that when you buy booster packs attempting to get wild cards, you incidentally open some cards that you actually wanted to craft. And as Historic and then Pioneer gets added, these decks will have fewer and fewer cards from the same set in them, right? So you're going to have more, you know, okay, I'm going to open 100 booster packs for wild cards, but I'm only going to get 4 cards that I actually needed from my deck out of those 100 booster packs, right? Whereas, like, right now, you can open, you know, 100 booster packs and get a lot of stuff that you need. Yeah, that's true too, right? Like, another question it'll be is, like, how consistently do things like Historic Masters happen? Like, if there's these Historic Master sets or Pioneer Master sets that are filled with staples, you mitigate some of that issue, right? It's definitely true. But then the other problem is, when you release, and this is why they really need to work on more innovative digital-only solutions, because, you know, while Masters-type sets would be great for new people getting into the format, you also have to go back and think, well, okay, what about people that are already in the format, right? Like, if you make a Masters set, what happens to all the people that already have all of these cards? Does Runeterra do duplicate protection? Runeterra doesn't have booster packs. On Runeterra, you literally just spend your in-game currency and buy exactly the cards you want. The only cards you get at random in Runeterra are cards that you get for free to play. Yeah, in addition to Runeterra having good core gameplay, their monetization is very consumer-friendly. Wow, I guess they exiled a bunch of stuff. I wonder what their last card is. There's 6 cards in my bin. Let's find out, shall we? Look at that, we took a game. It's exciting. Getting Dragon God going feels real good in that matchup. Bedevil's also been key. Maybe I just want 4 Bedevils in our 75. We're going to be playing against a bunch of Cat Oven. I mean, like, Hearthstone was the first real, like, big digital card game, right? And they realized they could copy the predatory paper system, but keep all the profits for themselves, essentially, right? And then almost every other card game just fell in line behind them, copying that same high-profit, consumer-unfriendly process of acquiring cards. It's always funny to me when I post things about the arena economy, like on Twitter, and they get enough retweets that people outside my circle start seeing it. There's always people that are like, well, it's your fault that you spent so much money on Magic Arena, Jeff. And I'm like, well, you don't get it. It isn't really a big deal for me to spend money on Magic Arena, right? Like, I've got almost 2,300 subscribers at the moment. Like, my money spent on Arena returns to me plenty. Like, this is my job. It pays for itself. When I highlight issues with the Arena economy, my goal in attempting to do that is to hopefully encourage them to fix it for people who aren't like me, who can't afford and don't want to spend $3,500 on Arena, right? Like, I'm not doing, and I'm sure lots of other people are so selfish that it's easy to read into, okay, Jeff's tweeting this because he's selfish and he wants to spend less money. Like, it's whatever. I'm gonna pay whatever it costs for me to pay to have a full Arena collection because I just need this to do my job. Like, it's irrelevant to me what it costs. Yes, we played against the same archetype 3 times in a row. A little bit rough sample size variance. Yeah, I mean, like, the tax write-off portion is pretty whatever. Like, for people that don't understand U.S. tax law, the fact that I get to write something off of my taxes basically means I'm getting like a 20 to 25% discount depending on what my effective tax rate for the year is. Hey, Gengar, thanks for the 25 months. I wonder what price point for Watsy selling wildcards would make sense for the players. Like, is there one? Yeah, I don't know, Gengar. Was that a good draw? Please vote in chat. Alright, my opponent voted for you. Opponent voted for you. Okay, I'm gonna add a 4th Bedevil to the deck and try another one. I think we're in a 4 Bedevil meta, chat. I'm definitely in a 4 Bedevil portion of the ladder. Hey. Maybe Cry of the Canarium. Cry of the Canarium, I guess that's okay. I don't know. So, like, the problem with Cry is I'll change my sweeper to Cry, and then we'll immediately queue into Goblins and want to Cry. Okay. I don't understand, chat. Is this a different cat oven brew? Works better in the sacrifice matchups. Not strictly Vamp, so it's pretty important to be able to kill both Mayhem Devil and Escaped Woe Striders, which Languish does. I would have died laughing there if everybody got over their head. You and me both. You and me both. Why do I play discard spells, chat? Why do I play discard spells? You like torturing yourself? They're probably just experimenting. Looks like they've got plenty of wild cards to go around. Probably just trying out sweet things to enable lots of colors. I assume we're gonna activate Golos here, survey says. I think we have to kill Golos here. Thing draws a card when it attacks. They have multiple main deck disputes. They have multiple main deck disputes. Are we dead? I feel like we're dead. The set's been pretty peak, Grixis. So obviously we drew a removal spell, but I just can't beat Gargalith. I can't beat 2 threats there. I think we keep some flame sweeps in to clean up zombies. Some spot removal to kill their Gargaliths and their Goloses. Ashiok static text relevant here as well. Mup. Thanks for the 17 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, I think if you want to play a Grixis colored deck, you're probably just best off playing the aggressive variation that's up on my website. I think, historically speaking, Grixis has always had a... Hey, Miss Ben. I was watching you fumble around with some Grixis control this morning, too. I think your run was a little bit better than mine's been going, though. Thanks for the raid. Hope you had a good stream. Derby says, I don't think there's any reason to hold up Flame Sweep here, so I'm just going to put a tap land into play. I guess the other side of that is my health doesn't really matter. Could be right to just shock it in, or play an untapped land. Yeah, I'll be interested to see, just lucky, if Standard's able to get back to that point. Historic's basically never going to have a power level down tick. The things that are here forever. That's a good observation about caring about my life. The castle could mean we care about my life in the interim. Important that we attack here before playing our threats. That way they don't know that there's a 4 damage thing they could be chump blocking next turn. I mean, Aether Gust is still just a super playable card. I just don't know if I want to redraw this Nicol Bolas. I guess I do. I have 7 lands already. You know, sometimes I wonder, would I feel better or worse if Aether Gust was Flash Freeze? Probably better, because you don't feel... I wouldn't be having to make a hard choice every time. Is it draw 2? I actually had someone submit a submission for a draw 2 deck. The thing to understand about a draw 2 deck is that the best draw to payoff is a green card. So you don't want to make it just is it. You want to be Teamer, and you want to play Uro, and you want to play Growth Spiral. Probably Explore too, honestly. Brimstone, thanks for the 15 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Is your last card a removal spell, or are they just reading my Nicol Bolas? You okay? Got ourselves some dueling Nicol Bolas. Mire Triton flipped that over earlier. Viable mill deck? No, almost assuredly not.
Remake the multiverse in my. You are all so generous. I know what must be done.
Alright, well, I'm glad they drew a tapped land. Really, really glad they drew a tapped land. Well, I was lucky they didn't have mana to cast their Ulamog. Because while Field of the Dead was super, super beatable, because Field of the Dead is not the best ramp payoff in this format, the Ulamog would have ended the game and I would not have been able to win any longer. I had someone unironically on Twitter post the other day that Ulamog was fine because you could counterspell it. Was ban Muxus. As someone who's an adult, who's capable of admitting when he might have been wrong, I think there's a chance Muxus is fine in this format. From a power level perspective, I think you could have a real discussion as to whether or not turn 3 Muxus is a gameplay experience you want to be present in Historic. And I think that that's a valid and reasonable discussion to perhaps have. But I think looking from a pure power level perspective, Muxus is probably fine.
I leave you to your doom.
I think Karn Liberated would be fine in Historic. Yeah, without Tron lands, Karn's probably worse than 8 mana again, by a lot. Funsetti, thanks for the 19 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. The reason why they banned Winota was because of power level and metrics based on its win rates. So if Muxus has similar win rates, I wouldn't be opposed to it, but I also would be kind of surprised at this point if it does in fact have similar win rates. I think the people that are like ban Skirt Prospector are beyond silly. I think there's 4 different cards in that deck that allow you to turn 4 Muxus, and yeah, Skirt Prospector is technically the only thing that lets you turn 3 Muxus, but turn 3 versus turn 4 Muxus is about a wash. Yeah, I definitely will, Hamlin. Muxus and best of 1 is really stupid. Wait, what? You're, yes. Alright, mind rot you instead of Ravenscriming you. Deal. Resolves. Yeah, maybe they misclicked. Maybe they meant to grab, Aether Gust? Yeah, maybe they grabbed the wrong spell. Very possible they grabbed the wrong spell. Why would I down tick Bolas? Draw some cards, chat. Draw some cards. Look at that! I killed their zombie by upticking. Yeah, eating away at their lands would be great here. I don't actually think that's true, Blevins. I think the only reason it feels like Magic does best of 3 so well is because Magic, on average, makes for a pretty mediocre best of 1 game for a lot of people. Like, I don't feel like when I played Hearthstone and when I play Runeterra, I don't really feel the need for best of 3 in those games because those games don't have the number of non-games that Magic has. The only reason best of 3 is such a necessary tool in Magic, in my opinion, is because there's so many games of Magic where you literally make no decisions and lose. That's very, very common. Or the decisions you make don't matter and you just die because you stumbled or flooded or got run down. I also think Magic has a higher play-draw discrepancy than almost any other card game out there, and best of 3 gives you more chances to mitigate play-draw variance as well, which is pretty critical. Another small sequencing mistake by the opponent here. They played their land pre-combat, which lets me flame sweep both their zombies and not take a hit here. Opponent never had Ulamog or Ugin, so we were able to win. Chat, we're making back our points. Field of the Dead is not that good in this format, chat. And that could be subject to change. Like, maybe we get Hour of Promise in... We probably are getting Hour of Promise in Amonkhet Remastered, and maybe Hour of Promise puts Field of the Dead over the top. But as of right now, Field of the Dead is not oppressive in this format. Not even a little. If you asked me to rank the ramp payoffs in Historic in order of power level, I would put Field of the Dead 3rd after Ugin and then Ulamog. Oh, Ugin definitely dominates the ramp mirror. Not close. You want to have a good Nissa ramp deck for Historic? Well, I don't know if it's good, but speaking of ramp and Nissa, we're going to play a mono green Nissa ramp deck here after this match. Sure, I agree. I agree that from a strategic perspective, sideboarding is pleasant and adds depth to the game. And I think as a tournament mode, best of 3 or something like it is fantastic. I agree with that. So again, I would encourage folks not to look at small sample sizes and extrapolate them to be representative of the data as a whole that you're pulling from. So usually I'm in the always take 2 camp, but these are pretty useless, and they're going to go to my bin to fuel my Kroxa, so I think I'm going to take the 1. Sick. Nailed it. Because getting Kroxa escaped ASAP is pretty important to pressuring them. Yeah, so far, and again, don't extrapolate this to mean it's the entirety of the format, but we've played against 3 Cat Oven decks and now 2 Fielded decks in a row. I'm not tilted, you're tilted. We've been juked. I mean, I also think Cat Oven's just, like, genuinely good in this format. Yeah, they didn't do strict sideboarding, though, Andrew. When Hearthstone did that, they basically did, you had to submit multiple variations of the same deck in advance, right? Which removes a good bit of the nuance and strategy that sideboarding offers as a gameplay mode. And again, we're looking at a game here where Field of the Dead is very beatable, but this Ugin is really mean, he says before drawing Nicol Bolas. Yeah, I was just thinking through my permutations to see if I could keep this, but I can't. Yeah, it was the only way to copy the idea of sideboards in the client. Yeah, it doesn't, yeah. A lot of the Runeterra tournaments have done multi-deck formats. The Bojuka Bog was so brutal. If we'd have had a Kroxa in play here, we'd have been so much better off. Although I suppose if we had Kroxa, they probably would have down-ticked. But if they would have down-ticked, they wouldn't have had zombies, and then my Nicol Bolas would live. So yeah, I think my statement stands. If we would have had, they wouldn't have hit Bojuka Bog, we'd be in a pretty okay spot. Slow Future, thanks for 11 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, I genuinely would not be surprised if Nissa, Ugin, Ulamog ramp is better than these Field of the Dead variations in this format. Oh, right. I saw her tweet that she took number 1. She's had a lot of success since she started doing a lot of Magic stuff. She top-aided one of the Channel Fireball events at 1.2, right? When they were doing GPs from home. Ashizizzle, for those not familiar, is another F2K streamer, does a lot of constructed Magic. She does a lot of sacrifice decks, usually more aggressive sacrifice decks. I think we're just letting these sit for now. What are your thoughts on the right sweepers for this deck? I think Languish is the right sweeper for my Kroxa deck, because it clears most of the things I want to clear and explicitly never kills my Kroxa. Our workplace had its first confirmed case of COVID, but the higher up keeps saying no contact between staff could have happened, so we don't need to act, and we're a library. Are libraries open to the public during this? I guess more specifically, is your library open to the public? My understanding is a lot of schools are planning to open up. The school district where I live is planning to have in-person classes. They did also offer an online learning option for parents, which my wife and I did elect to take for our children. But what you also need to understand is that the United States has a distinct lack of social safety nets. So there are a lot of parents in the United States who have to choose between sending their kids to school and being able to feed their children. I feel very fortunate to not be in that position, in large part thanks to you all. It's a good hit. Nikki B. Our schools are going to 50% capacity 2 days a week, and the other 3 will be online. Let's see if this is enough. Winged Yeti, thanks for the 5 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I'm interested. So I believe our school year isn't scheduled to start for 2 more weeks. So that's a chance for school districts in other parts of the country to have complete disasters with their current plans. So if other places have issues, there's time for like the area where I live to bail back out. We also, for people that aren't familiar with the town that I live in, the town that I live in is a college town. Which we had a bunch of people move back into the area to go to school from all over the country this past weekend. So I wouldn't be surprised if that causes cases to flare up in my area before our local school district starts for grade schools. And again, just cannot highlight enough here how, just like, look at this game. I am never losing to this Field of the Dead. Ever, ever, ever. We have this Field of the Dead on lock. It's not a big deal. I can never beat this card. Just ever. In a million years can I beat this Ulamog the Ceaseless Hunger. Even if I had a piece of spot removal for this Ulamog, it's taking my 2 best resources on board with it, and I just can't win. I'm gonna be done with this deck. This deck's not competitive. I think if you want to play Grixis, you should go to jeffhoagland.com, click Historic Decks. There's a Grixis aggro deck right here. I think this is the closest you're going to get to Grixis really be playable in this format, because the core of this is an aggro deck looking to beat people down and punk people out with Embercleave. This is the Grixis deck I recommend playing. And yes, it's red, black, aggro, splash, Nicol, Bolas. Alright, don't go anywhere. We've got more magic coming up. Speaking of Ulamogs, we got some hungry boys ourselves. I'm going to hit a quick ad roll. I'll get things set up and flipped over. When we get back, we're going to put a whole bunch of lands into play as quickly as possible. Hashtag Magic the Gathering. Be back in just a few, folks.